The ancient Stoics had a secret. They believed that the most annoying person in your life right now is actually your greatest teacher. Sounds crazy, right? But by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why difficult people are essential to your growth. Today in this video, I'll give you 10 tools to handle disrespect like a Stoic without losing your calm. Picture this. You're standing in a long checkout line at the grocery store, just trying to buy your bread and get on with your day. Then the person in front of you decides this is the perfect moment to empty their entire cart, argue with the cashier about a discount that expired last year, and suddenly realize they forgot their wallet. As you watch this scene unfold, irritation builds almost automatically, and when someone behind them tries to help or offer a quicker solution, the person snaps back defensively, as if the whole world owes them unlimited patience. Moments like these remind us that daily life is really just a spiritual test disguised as ordinary errands. We constantly meet people who seem determined to test our patience, and yet these encounters are simply part of being human. Almost everyone has stood in that line thinking the exact same thing. Why me? Why today? And this. This is exactly what handling disrespect like a Stoic is all about. Why difficult people exist and why they actually matter. There's a powerful Stoic reminder that goes like this. What blocks the path becomes the path. Marcus Aurelius wasn't talking about fallen trees or bad weather when he wrote that. He meant people. People who slow us down. People who irritate us. People who test every ounce of our patience. The Stoics believed these difficult individuals play a necessary role in shaping who we become. To live well in a world filled with all kinds of people, reasonable and unreasonable alike, this is our true training ground. Marcus even went so far as to call other people our proper work. Think about what that means. We're here to cooperate with others, to tolerate others, to uplift others, and most importantly, to refuse to let others drag us down into bitterness or pettiness. Disrespect is something we all face, at work, in relationships, even from strangers online. It stings. It can easily push us toward frustration, anger, or the urge to lash back. But here's what the ancient Stoics understood. The way we respond to these moments is what truly defines us. Their philosophy offers practical, timeless tools for dealing with difficult people and unpleasant situations with steadiness and maturity. In this video, I'm sharing 10 Stoic-inspired principles that will help you handle disrespect in a composed and thoughtful way. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're strategies you can use today, right now, to protect your peace and maintain your dignity. Number 1, accept what you cannot control. Let's start with one of Stoicism's most powerful ideas, the dichotomy of control. This principle divides life into two clear categories, things you control and things you don't. You control your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and your responses. You do not control other people's behavior, their opinions, or how they choose to treat you. When someone disrespects you, the natural reaction is to obsess over what they did, to replay it in your mind, analyze their motives, feel hurt or angry. But here's the truth. By doing that, you're handing over your peace to someone who doesn't deserve it. The Stoics would tell you to accept the situation for exactly what it is, not what you wish it was, and then redirect all your energy toward what you can actually influence, your response, your attitude, your next step. This shift in focus is liberating. It puts you back in control of the only thing that truly matters, yourself. Number 2, stay anchored in virtue. For the Stoics, virtue wasn't just a nice idea. It was the highest good. Wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These were the qualities that defined a life well lived. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to get pulled into their level, to respond with anger, sarcasm, or pettiness. But Stoicism asks you to focus on something more important. Not what the other person just did, but who you want to be. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I aspire to be in this moment? Do I want to be someone who reacts impulsively, driven by emotion? Or do I want to be someone who responds with wisdom, composure, and integrity? A response rooted in virtue keeps you aligned with your deepest principles. It protects your self-respect and your sense of inner peace. Remember, you can't control how others behave, but you can always control how you show up. And that's where your true power lies. Number 3, pause before you respond. Anger has a dangerous quality. It reinforces itself. The Roman philosopher Seneca warned that the more we indulge anger, the easier it becomes to slip into. It creates a habit, a pattern that grows stronger with every reaction. The solution is surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful. Pause. When someone says something disrespectful, resist the urge to fire back immediately. Give yourself even just 10 seconds to breathe, to step back mentally, to compose yourself. That short pause creates space between the trigger and your response. In that space, you reclaim your self-control. You shift from reacting emotionally to responding thoughtfully. The Stoics valued self-control above almost everything else because they understood this. The person who can pause is the person who cannot be easily manipulated or provoked. You maintain your dignity, your composure, and your power. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, take a breath. And remember that the pause is where your strength lives. Number 4, look inward before looking outward. The Stoics were masters of self-examination. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, often reminded himself that the quality of your thoughts shapes the quality of your life. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to blame them, judge them, or defend yourself. But Stoicism invites you to pause and look inward first. Ask yourself some honest questions. Is there any truth in what they said, even if it was delivered poorly? Did I contribute to this misunderstanding in any way? What response would reflect the person I truly want to be? This kind of reflection isn't about blaming yourself or excusing bad behavior. It's about taking responsibility for your part in the situation and preventing impulsive reactions that you might regret later. Self-examination also creates emotional distance from the disrespect itself. Instead of being consumed by it, you step back and analyze it objectively. This practice encourages growth, maturity, and wisdom. It transforms a painful moment into an opportunity for self-improvement. Number 5, stay calm on the inside. Here's a foundational Stoic truth. We are not disturbed by events themselves, but by the judgments we make about them. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, made this point crystal clear. When someone treats you disrespectfully, the disrespect itself is just an action. Words, a tone, a gesture. What disturbs you is the meaning you assign to it, the story you tell yourself about what it means. Maybe you think it means you're not valued, or that you're weak, or that you've been wronged. But here's the reality. Their behavior comes from their own thoughts, feelings, frustrations, and insecurities. It's not a reflection of your worth. When you remind yourself of this, you take back your emotional balance. You stop giving their actions power over your inner state. Staying calm on the inside doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means recognizing that your peace is your responsibility, not theirs. And that shift in perspective changes everything. Number 6, try to understand the other person. Stoicism isn't just about controlling yourself. It's also about cultivating empathy. Epictetus taught that we should not depend on external circumstances for our peace. We should cultivate it within ourselves. But part of that inner peace comes from understanding others. Most people don't disrespect you because you did something terrible. They do it because they're stressed, insecure, confused, or dealing with problems you know nothing about. Maybe they're projecting their own pain onto you. Maybe they lack the emotional tools to communicate respectfully. When you see their behavior through this lens, something softens inside you. It becomes easier to respond with dignity rather than defensiveness. Empathy doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior or tolerate mistreatment. It simply means you stop taking it personally. You recognize that their actions are more about them than about you. And that understanding gives you freedom. Freedom from anger, from resentment, from the need to retaliate. Number 7, set boundaries with strength. Let's be clear about something. Stoicism does not ask you to silently accept mistreatment. Being calm is not the same as being passive. Being composed is not the same as being a doormat. You can be respectful, clear, and firm about what behavior you will and will not tolerate. Setting boundaries is not an act of aggression, it's an act of self-respect. It protects your dignity and prevents patterns of disrespect from continuing. The Stoics taught strength, not submission. They believed in responding to life with courage and wisdom. So if someone repeatedly crosses the line, you have every right to address it directly. You can do it without anger, without drama, without lowering yourself to their level. A simple, calm statement of your boundaries is often more powerful than any emotional outburst. It shows that you value yourself and that you won't compromise your peace for anyone. Number 8, use humor to diffuse tension. The Stoics weren't serious, rigid people who never smiled. In fact, they understood that humor can be a powerful tool for diffusing tension. When handled with care, a light remark or a calm smile can break the intensity of a disrespectful moment. It prevents the situation from spiraling into something bigger and more damaging. Humor reminds you not to take every situation so heavily. Not every insult deserves a dramatic emotional reaction. Sometimes the best response is a raised eyebrow and a quiet chuckle that says, "I'm not going to let this get to me." But here's the important part. Humor should never be used to belittle or humiliate the other person. That would just create more conflict. Instead, use it to maintain your own balance and perspective. It's a way of signaling to yourself and to them that you're in control, that you're composed, and that their words don't have the power they might have hoped for. Number 9, choose forgiveness for your own freedom. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood concepts. People think it means you're saying what happened was okay, or that you're letting someone off the hook. But that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is a Stoic tool for maintaining your own inner freedom. It doesn't mean you approve of the disrespect or that you forget what happened. It simply means you choose not to carry anger and resentment with you. Because holding on to resentment harms you far more than it harms the other person. They've already moved on with their life while you're replaying the incident in your mind, poisoning your own peace. Letting go, when done wisely, is an act of maturity and strength. It's not weakness, it's liberation. You're choosing your own well-being over the satisfaction of holding a grudge. And that decision reflects the highest form of self-respect. Number 10, shift your perspective to the bigger picture. Finally, remember this. Perspective changes everything. When you zoom out and look at your life from a higher viewpoint, most acts of disrespect look small and temporary. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is shaped by our thoughts, and that most situations can be seen differently if we choose to look from a broader angle. Will this moment matter a year from now? 5 years from now? Probably not. Often people act out of their own insecurities, fears, or confusion, not because of anything you've actually done. When you focus on your long-term values, your deeper goals, and your commitment to inner peace, it becomes so much easier to let the small slights pass. You realize that protecting your peace is more important than winning an argument or proving a point. You realize that some battles aren't worth fighting, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel hurt. It's about managing those emotions skillfully so they don't control you. By applying these 10 principles, you can remain composed in the face of disrespect, maintain your dignity, and respond with maturity, strength, and wisdom. Remember, how others treat you is a reflection of them. How you respond is a reflection of you. Choose to respond like a Stoic. If you found this helpful, subscribe. Your journey to forge your legacy begins here.